Over to you, Phil.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Welcome everyone. I appreciate you joining. I can see a few more people sliding in, so we'll probably wait a minute or two before we get started. Um, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Phil Purnell. I'm the director of the agency here at Drive, so I head up the marketing side of things. I've got Will Snyder with us. Will is the head of digital ads. Say hello, Will.
Hi guys. It's
All
nice to
right.
have everybody here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining. Before I get started and I'll give you the lay of the land, so to say. When we do these webinars, I truly have one goal, and it's for everyone on this call to walk away with something, walk away with a nugget of some kind to kind of help you in your marketing quest, more knowledge with products, communication, whatever it may be. So our goal today is just to at least accomplish that. The lay of the land. Let's tell you how today's going to kind of look. Um, Will and I are going to go over a couple of our newer services because I think when you talk about being a partner, one main ingredient is educating. So we want to make sure you're educated on a couple of services that we offer that we've recently rolled out. After those service offerings or after we go over those product services, I will roll into kind of talking about communication and I think an approach and things that set us apart. So we want to share some aspects of that. And I think we're going to end it with a kind of an open forum, a Q&A. What I've learned over the years is what your thoughts are, listening to the client. So I love when we get there to share your experiences, whether it's with Drive or other vendors or what you look for and kind of what makes you tick when you're paying a vendor. Because again, I think listening and understanding what a client needs and a client looks for is really important part of a business relationship, a vendor relationship, and we want to hit that number. Um, so with that said, I think we'll kick it off. You ready, Will?
Yep, I'm ready when you are.
All right. Why don't you share your screen? We're going to start out by talking about a new service we just rolled out. And before I get started, everyone on this call, I can tell you this with all the confidence in the world. This is a product that every single shop needs, bar none. It's a product that Google has had for several years, but just rolled out in the last 6 to 12 months on the auto repair, auto body side of things. Um, it is the best lead you're going to get, bar none, when it comes to internet marketing. Doesn't matter if it's Google, Bing, Yelp. It's the highest quality lead out there. So we want to share this, talk about it, and educate you on it. So let's do that, Will. Local service ads. All right. When it comes to Google, there's two advertising platforms. There's the traditional Google ads, which a lot of you may be familiar with. We may be supporting you on that aspect. And that's been around for decades. Now we have a local service ads opportunity. Again, it's a new platform to auto repair and auto body verticals, but it's been around forever. So it's a proven method. Here's some distinct differences. Traditional ads is a pay per click. It's more of a high volume, throw enough at the wall, good quantity will stick, and the phone rings enough. You're making money. You're getting a lot of coverage over multiple different keywords, different platforms, and such. The local service ad is a pay per lead product only. And here's what I mean by that. If you're an auto repair shop in Orlando, if somebody calls and they're looking for auto repair in Orlando, it's a qualified lead. They're going to charge you. If they call for the wrong shop, they call for a service you don't offer, they call out of area, no charge. So it's very unique when it comes to Google. Google has a great way of spending your money. If you ever do ads, they'll spend your money. This product here, you're not spending unless they're bringing quality leads, doing what you do in the areas that you designate. Fantastic product and a fantastic way to hold Google accountable, which is difficult at times. Placement. And we're going to show you some visuals to kind of add to what I'm telling you. Always on top of Google. The local service ads are always the top result on Google, bar none. They're not on the bottom. They're not on page 2. You won't find them on YouTube and apps which traditional ads have that type of placement and presence. These results are always on top. And I'm going to show you a screenshot here in a second, and I think you're going to like what you see. There's a caveat to this product. Back up, if you would, Will. We'll go to that screenshot in a second. There's a caveat to this product. Not anyone can sign up. You need to get Google verified. Um, there are certain conditions. You got to show shop insurance, business license. They run a soft background check. Got to submit your ID. This is going to build trust with Google and trust with the consumer because within the ad, it will show that you're Google verified. So it's an opportunity to separate yourself from your competition that may not know how to get verified, can't get verified, doesn't want to go through the process. It's a fairly simple process. We've got it nailed down here on our side, but it does separate you in this platform where anyone can really sign up for traditional ads. The lead quality is the best. As I mentioned before, not a better lead. They are going to be calling, looking for what you do in your market, or it's not going to cost you a penny. Doesn't get any better than that. I think every shop will take calls like that all day long, and you'll run the risk that you're going to book a good amount of those calls. And ongoing optimization and maintenance, it's a different animal for us. We're not adding negative keywords, additional keywords. We're basically optimizing the campaign, adding photos to the back end, listening to charged calls, and some other aspects as well that are important to make sure your campaigns as optimized as possible. Those are the highlights. I'm going to have Will take over. Will, why don't you walk them through kind of some screenshots of where the ads are located in the back end of the campaign?
Sure, absolutely. So as Phil mentioned before, one of the great things about local service ads is that you're guaranteed to always show up at the top of the page. There's no other place for these ads to show up. It's the only place programmed in Google that they're going to appear. So here in the red box, you can see an example of two local service ads being shown in the Boston area. Now, this area obviously is going to be a little bit more competitive, but one of the great things that we're seeing with our clients as we're rolling this product out is that Google has just opened this up to the automotive industry across the country. So for a lot of you guys, you're going to be the first person in your area eligible to advertise with local service ads. And so if you're showing up at the top of the page with nobody else, it's almost a guarantee that somebody's going to click and give you a phone call. So kind of diving a little bit into the way that Google charges these leads, as Phil mentioned earlier, we're only getting charged for qualified phone calls. So people calling into the shop about services that the shop offers. When they come in, you can see in yellow here that they go into review. Google goes through and they review them and they deem whether that lead has been valid or not. If not, you don't get charged for the lead. And if they do decide that it is valid, you will get charged. You can see that in the blue. One of the ongoing things that our team is doing is we're going in and we're listening to the charged calls to make sure that Google got it right. So we're kind of checking behind them, making sure they're doing their work correctly. And if we see that one of the calls got charged and it really shouldn't have been, we can submit an appeal, and we can get that money credited back to the account. So another thing that I wanted to hit on was some of the required documentation. So when it comes to the local service ads, Google does require a more extensive business verification than you would get with the traditional ads. So there is a list of things that are required for everybody. Those are a Google business profile. If you're already working with Drive, odds are you already have one set up. Proof of insurance, and this can be one of the trickiest things. Google is looking for a lot of different pieces of information within that proof of insurance, but that's one of the things that our team is here for. We know exactly what to look for, and we're able to troubleshoot before we even get to the point of submitting that document. Local service ads is going to do a background check on the shop owner. So they will ask for your social security number and they will ask you to take a secure photo of your ID. You'll add your payment information into the platform. So because they're charging per lead, it's a lot easier for the shop to add in their card and get charged directly by Google. And finally, if your state requires a business license to do business, Google will ask for the license number, and the expiration date. There are a couple other things that Google may ask for depending on what state that you're in or how many client-facing employees you have. But your Google Ads rep should be ready with that information by the time that you sign up so that we can make sure that we have everything in order before we present all of our things to Google. Now, when it comes to targeting, we have a couple different things that we can work with, a couple different levers that we can pull here on the local service ads platform. It is different than your traditional Google ads because we're not plugging in keywords like we would there. Google gives us a list of service types that we can pick from. So we can tell them what kind of services your shop offers, what kind of services you don't. We can select the hours that the ads run. Obviously, we would recommend running them during your business hours because we really want those phone calls to come in and for somebody to be on the other end to pick them up. And we can also decide what geographical areas your ads are going to show in. And we are able to target by zip code, by town name, by city name. It is pretty advanced, so we're able to get exactly the right area that you're looking to target. And we are able to customize the ads. So Google gives us information on your business profile that we can mix and match. We can add photos into the ads. There's a couple of, I guess, additional add-ons that we can do. So if you get Better Business Bureau A plus status, we can add that here as well. We're constantly cycling things in and out. Anytime you're making updates to your websites, we're pulling the photos that you've added so that we can cycle in fresh photos because every time we're changing the content that shows up in your ad, Google is treating it as a totally new ad and they're circulating it even more. So us being constantly in there and making changes is really helping to get your ad in front of more eyes and to keep it circulating at maximum potential. We do have a couple of KPIs that local service ads tracks. So you'll always be able to see your total spend. You'll be able to see how many charged leads that you have. Here you can see that there are phone leads and message leads. So message leads is something available on the local service ads if that's something that you're interested in. But typically we're trying to lean more towards the phone calls because it's just a much better way to keep Google accountable for how we're spending our budget. You can see ad impressions. So that's the number of unique people who have viewed your ad. And they'll tell you how often you are showing up at the top of the page. And finally, this last percentage that says absolute top impression rate on search. That applies if you have multiple competitors in your area, how often you're showing up as number one versus number two or number three. And I'll pass it
Awesome.
back to Phil.
Got it, Will. Thanks so much. Hopefully that made sense to everybody. Just to kind of highlight, always on top of Google. You only pay when you get a qualified lead. You separate yourself with the guarantee, the Google verification. And we've seen it from clients that are on this product. And myself, just a little background, I beta tested this product with Google well over a decade ago. So I'm very familiar with the product. These clients are as ready to book as you will ever find, paid or not paid. So the top quality calls ready to be booked and cars in the bay. We're going to help you with the setup and verification process. We build the profile out, optimization. Your budget will, Google will bring us a couple of suggestions based upon your market and such. But we'll help you figure that out, monitor the leads, listen to them, dispute them if need be. We're also going to QC the calls. I mean, if you're not picking up the phone or maybe it's a little sloppy, we're not going to hesitate to let you know as a client of ours. And the monthly reporting, simple. What you're paying for is very simple. It's very clean, easy to use platform. You will have full access to that platform. Um, and I think it's just a fantastic way to get more cars in the bay. And again, it's very rare in the day of advertising that you can hold that platform accountable like you can with Google on this particular product. I'm thinking there's probably some questions. If you don't mind kind of holding on to them, holding that thought or jot it down, we're going to have an open forum at the end to be able to answer questions. And with that said, I'd like to kind of just gateway into another product. Will, let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, we are going to talk about AI. And I have a feeling there's several people on this call that might already have this product with us and maybe have been at the last webinar. But because these two products, the local service ads and the AI strategy, because they have such an impact, in my opinion, and I'm seeing it as well, they have such an impact on how clients are going to find you now with the local service ads and the AI, but also long term. Because a lot of you probably heard me say this a few times. I mean, it's just AI is changing the way people find you. And it's not just ChatGPT. You can go look and see if you're showing up there, and that's great. That's a goal. But it's Siri, it's Alexa, it's AI overview with Google, Gemini, Claude, Grok, on and on. And we are just getting started. So I'm just a huge proponent of our shops doing something about it. So I'm just going to quickly share because I had a whole webinar on this a couple months ago, and I've been on a lot of calls with different clients that are on this call about AI. But I want to just briefly give you an overview of the things we are doing and why. Three pieces to gaining better visibility when it comes to AI. The number one piece we don't necessarily control with our strategy. It's your reviews. Now, when I bring this up, I think a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, Phil, we already know how important reviews are, right? It is the most important ingredient when it comes to really getting cars in your shop. Well, take it up another notch. Just when you thought it was that important, with AI, it is just up another level. Your reputation is so important when it comes to AI because they're not giving 35 answers. It's not an algorithm that's looking at um, 100 different things. They're looking at things that consist of your reviews and a couple other aspects I'll show you. And it's not just Google. This is going to be a little disheartening to some of the shop owners here, but there's a platform called Yelp. And as I put it, it's a platform we all love to hate. But Yelp is one of the most, if not in some cases, the most sourced platform that AI uses to help make a decision. So some free advice here is you got to give your Yelp page a little bit of love. You got to get some reviews posted on Yelp. And I know that's difficult because they'll hide the good ones and show the bad ones. I know the whole Yelp game, but you can't ignore it any longer. Need to pay attention to it. So the reputation aspect is the number one key component. That's something that you're going to have to do on your own. We're going to nudge you and coach you. You want to respond to every review. That is extremely important when it comes to AI. So your reputation is extremely important. And I'll leave it at that. So just keep building on it, and it's going to help you when it comes to your AI visibility and such. Let's talk about things that we can change for you. I'll use my old friendly Knights Automotive. I tend to use them in a lot of my webinars and presentations. Here is the second key. You want to make your business the authority and the trusted source to AI. AI wants you to have a good reputation. And if you do, it's great. If you don't, they look at other things. But they want you to be the source, the expert on the subject matter at hand. So when someone's searching for the best auto repair shop near me, and they're in Ledgewood, New Jersey, or where should I take my brakes, or why is my check engine light on? You want to be the source and have the resource, which is your website, to answer those questions, to talk that language. If any of us have ever used AI, it's not like Google. We're not just throwing in a couple of keywords and hitting go. We're asking a question. We're putting the question mark in. We're giving a full prompt and you're getting an answer. So we have content that is written and designed to capture the attention of the AI platforms. And we do that in the form of frequently asked questions, and we do it strategically. Who is the best auto repair shop near Ledgewood? Well, we're going to talk about how Knight's Automotive is. We're going to talk about the market and why they're the best auto repair shop. We're going to talk about why you should bring your brakes there. Selected questions. We start out with 10 of them. How many times it's kind of funny, but how many times I bet combined have you guys been asked this question? I mean, hundreds of thousands of times. And people are going to go, consumers, possible customers of yours are going to actually type this in on ChatGPT or Ask Siri or go to Gemini. and we're going to give them the answer. So it's adding relevant content that's written for AI to make you an expert on the subject matter. We get we consider ourselves a little bit clever over here, and we know that AI is going to go to your homepage first. I just got off a whole FAQ page, but they go here first. So let's hit them right out of the gate. Questions and answers, building you as the authority, as the expert. Scroll down a little bit. We get a little cute. We're searching for AI visibility. Hey, AI, learn here more here. And we take them to the full page. So content, I'm going to show you some more AI written content. Let's go to District 39, auto AC repair page. What's the big deal, Phil, right? People have auto AC repair page. Well, we're going to play the question and answer game. We want District 39 in Oklahoma City to be the AC auto repair expert, authority, trusted source on their website when AI comes looking. And how we do it is the questions and answers. Significant part. You need to build yourself as that expert and that authority. You start with your website. So reputation, expert, authority online with the website. Then we got to go off the website. AI looks everywhere. They don't just go to Google. Matter of fact, Google's cutting them off. They have their own product. They don't want their 30 years of lifting the weight and doing all the work, ChatGPT to run off with it. The ChatGPTs, the Siris, the Claudes of the world, they look everywhere. And what I mean is they look at trusted sources, trusted directories, trusted listings. One of those listings or one of those directories, or should I say one of those aspects is a data aggregator. And what a data aggregator does is it pushes out your local business information to hundreds of thousands of places. There's 5 big data aggregators. Stumbling over that word a little bit. They all have a ton of value. And those of you that have seen this presentation before, you know that I always start with Foursquare. Foursquare is a data aggregator that pushes your local business information out to hundreds of thousands of places. And you're probably wondering, well, okay, what's the big deal, Phil? One, you do want your local data accurate everywhere. Consumers just don't go to Google and the day's over. There's many other directories, listings, and platforms that's having your local information accurate. Phone number, address, hours, business name is extremely important. But in this particular case, where it really is most important is that AI looks to verify that local data. They use the data aggregators as the source to verify local data. If your local data is verified, they're going to trust you. If they trust your location, your business information, you're more apt to have higher visibility and be a recommended source. The reason I start with Foursquare, and let me open this up real quick. Give me 1 second, is that ChatGPT is none other than a partner of Foursquare, meaning between 60 and 70% of local results on ChatGPT come from Foursquare. So they're looking right where we put you. Other AI platforms utilize Foursquare as well. We don't just stop there. Let me move this out of the way. We push you through. I'm sure you've all heard of Yellow Pages, Dexno, Super Pages, and we continuously push you through other data aggregators. We want you everywhere any AI platform looks. We want you uniform, consistent, and accurate. AI will trust you more. If they trust you more, you'll show up better. It's that simple. The last piece that we do is every single platform and directory that exists has what is called a authority rating or a trust index. And it goes from 1 to 100. Basically, for the sake of this conversation, is how much does AI trust that platform? The more they trust it, the more they're going to look at it, the more the weight it's going to carry when it comes to AI spitting out a decision and answer. What we do, and before I tell you what we do, let's just take a look at a couple of platforms we're familiar with. 1 to 100, I had mentioned. So guess who's the ultimate authority? No surprise to any of us, right? Google. I'm sure we're all got our Apple Maps up and running. You have to be in Apple Maps. You have to be accurate, consistent, significant authority. You've got Bing. I don't use it. Been around for 30 years and it's a Microsoft product. 93. Here's the one that I brought up earlier. The one we all love to hate that we got to start paying attention to. Carries a weight of a 93. Here's where I'm going with this. There are hundreds of directories and platforms that carry significant value. I'm talking the 40s and 50s. They've been around for decades. They're not a common household name. We're not all landing on them, but they have a ton of important data. AI is looking in these platforms, in these listings, in these directories. What we do is we utilize a tool, identify high authority directories and listings you're not in, and we put you in those directories. We're putting our clients in 10 additional directories, platforms every quarter, where when AI looks, you're currently not there, you're going to carry no weight. It's going to have an effect on your visibility. And by getting you in those directories and continuing to build, so this strategy just gets stronger and better. The ultimate goal is that it will increase your visibility. I'm going to tell you a little secret. I actually went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, I own an auto repair shop and a body shop in St. Augustine, Florida, where I'm located. How do I get better visibility? So this is kind of the secret sauce. AI is good for giving answers, and we went right to the source. We figured out what we can deliver on, how we can make it affordable. But again, with all the confidence in the world, I can tell you it is absolutely mandatory for you as a shop to have a strategy. Having a website and some good SEO, which I believe we provide, is not enough. We got to take it up another level. So that's pretty much all touching on that AI local boost. What I'd like to do, stop my share. What I'd like to do is take just a minute. Will and I are going to take a little breather and we're going to release a poll. It's just a quick 5-question poll. Going to find out, gauge what your interest may be in hearing more about these products. I don't know if Tony's going to roll that out or that happens automatically. Well, there you go. Please just take 30 seconds, give us some answers, take a look, and we'd love your feedback and see kind of you where you land. Then I'm going to go ahead and segue into kind of communication because I mean it's great to hear about the new products. We want to educate you, but I believe that communication can really separate a vendor relationship and turn it in from a transactional, just another number, I'm paying you every week. When I need something, you pick up the phone, great type relationship, to actually having a rapport. And there's a couple things I think we do that will separate us from other vendors. And I'd kind of like to share that. And then after that, we're going to get to an open forum, hopefully have a little bit of discussion because I'm really interested in what you all have to say or what you think. But let me share something, and then I'm going to hand it over to Will here in a second. But let me share something that I find very important. Whenever you're a client of Drive, you have the opportunity to book what we call strategy sessions. Now, we just went over the local service ads and the AI local boost, so you do have an opportunity, and we're going to share the link to my marketing booking link. You'll have the opportunity to hop on a call, learn more. I'll show you more. We'll talk. We'll answer questions. But what I really want to focus on is we provide our clients that no other vendor that I know of provides is we'll provide strategy sessions, meaning one-on-one with myself, and we talk about everything marketing. We don't just talk about stuff we can sell you. We don't talk about the 6 services. We talk about everything marketing under the sun. I've bought TV before. I've bought radio. I know all about direct mail. We don't offer TikTok product, but if you want to talk about whether you should do TikTok videos or Instagram or whatever it is, we have the capability of having real discussions. I like to look at it as just having an open door policy. We don't want to be the vendor that just sells you something. And when you need us, I guess we're going to answer the phone and talk to you. We want two-way communication. Um, we want to always be real with our clients. I think that's another really important. Everything isn't perfect. I said this earlier to our team on a meeting, but marketing is a grind. We recognize that, but we want to be a strategic partner. We want to build a relationship. Um, we don't want you to think it's hot air and we're just saying it. We want to back it up. So these strategy sessions really give you an opportunity to talk about marketing. You're a shop owner, you're a consumer, you have ideas. I'm here to talk about them. If it's a bad idea, I'm not afraid to let you know, and I'll tell you why I think that. So it's just an extra piece, an opportunity for us to build real relationships. I have clients that on a yearly basis, we will kick off January with a 2026, 2025 strategy session. We'll recap products that we offer, products that we're servicing. How are we doing? How was your year? How was your car count? And I really believe it helps separate us. It will help build a relationship. Um, and really overall help your shop because that's the ultimate goal. So I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit. Will, I'm going to let you touch on as the digital ads manager, the head of that department. Talk about some of the kind of services, or not so much services, but the customer service angle that you think separates your team.
Absolutely. So when it comes to digital advertising, especially with Google advertising, it is not a set it and forget it product. It is a full-time job. And a lot of times, that's the very first point of service that we're giving to a client is we're taking some of that weight off their shoulders. And we're going in and we're doing the day-to-day work that needs to be done in an account. So predominantly that involves us going through every single Google search that's triggered your ad to show. We're reading it for the content. We're seeing, what kind of traffic each keyword is bringing in. We're also troubleshooting. We're seeing if, any of those searches coming in are not related to the things that we want to be advertising, or if somebody's maybe looking for another shop and giving your shop a phone call by accident. We're going in and we're looking at all of that content. We're adding negative keywords. Then we do stuff on the more strategic side as well. We're getting down into the nitty-gritty. We're looking at, neighborhoods, townships, zip codes to see where your ads are performing the best, where we're telling Google to invest a little bit more of your budget, where we're telling them to invest a little bit less. We're testing keywords. We're seeing, where we're spending the most money, what services that we really want to push. And we're also here to tell you all of the things that we're doing. Believe it or not, we actually do love to tell you what we've been doing with your account and, with your ad dollars. We don't just like to sit here behind a computer and have it go all day. We like to share with you. So, one of the best parts about Drive is that once you come into the digital advertising department, you'll be matched with an ads rep who will always have their feet on the ground in your account and will know all of the ins and outs. You'll have that person's email, their phone number, and you'll be able to contact them and ask them questions, ask them to make changes to your ads, or also just say, hey, I just want to know what's been going on recently with my account. Tell me what you're doing and tell me why you're doing it. And we're more than happy to meet with you and kind of give that to you. Another really great part about Drive in general is that none of this has to exist in a vacuum. We talk between the different departments and we're able to do a lot of different things to really strengthen your advertising. So if you have a Drive website, that's already a huge leg up because we can connect your Google Ads to your website and to Google Analytics, which is kind of Google's way of storing all the information of all the different people that have come to your website. We can use that to create audiences, to target. If we think that we can show your ads for an even more efficient price by changing some of the text on your website, we're able to coordinate with our web team. I know, especially with the new AI Local Boost product, we're getting all sorts of new content on your website as well that we can incorporate into the ads, and even down to things like running a special. Sometimes your ads just need a little bit of a boost to get you through a slow month. And something as simple as incorporating a promotion into your ads that maybe your shop was already running is enough to kind of get you over the hump. We're there to make recommendations, to tell you what's been working for other people in the same specialty as you, or maybe in a similar town as you as well. So we have all sorts of knowledge and we have all sorts of interconnection between the different departments that really help make a kind of holistic take on marketing.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, awesome. And we're always ready to pick the phone up too. Times are tough, car count's low, things are struggling. We're in it through thick and thin. And again, I think it really is a separator. I think it's what a lot of marketing companies lack, and that's our philosophy. And you can call us naive all you want, but that's what we're shooting for. Um, yeah, I kind of just want to wrap this up. I would love to hear some thoughts. If you have anything to share, anyone on this call, or any questions, particular questions about the services or products, does anyone have any feedback, any questions,
One
anything that we can answer?
one quick thing, Phil. So go ahead and put whatever question you have in the chat, or if you would like to have a conversation, just put it in the chat, and then I'll open up your mic for a conversation with Phil and Will.
Thank you, Tony. Give it a few seconds. Maybe we nailed it. Possibly will. Maybe we nailed it. We answered all the questions and so forth. But we always, okay, let me see chat here. Let's see. Awesome. Thanks, Will. Definitely talk to Ish. Just reading. And we shared the booking link with everyone? Fernanda or Tony, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. All right. I mean, I think we can probably wrap this up. I mean, anything more to add? I want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for hearing us out. Book a call, talk to your account rep. If you're a client of ours, call us up. Whatever we can do for you, we're here. And again, thank you for showing up. Appreciate your time. And thanks to the team for setting us up. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
It looks like there might be a question, is what
Oh.
Fernanda said. So let's have a look.
Sorry. And we'll stick around too.
What budget is recommended for Google service ads?
Fantastic question, Sarah. That budget is determined when you are setting up the account. One of the steps is that you'll actually get to a point where you set up your budget, and Google will show you two recommendations, and then you're allowed to set up a custom budget. And the reason why the reason why it's open-ended like that, because it is depending upon the competition, your market source, and so forth. Just to elaborate a little bit more, this is actually the one time that I truly trust Google, because they'll tell you a budget and you got to do it a little investigating, and maybe they shoot high. But this particular aspect, they will indicate a couple of recommended budgets, and they will actually tell you how many leads you should get for that budget. So it gives you an idea of what your cost per lead is going to be. And we usually recommend really being aggressive, because part of where you show up, how you show up, and how much activity is going to be based upon your budget. And being aggressive doesn't mean you're going to spend that money. It just means that Google's got to work a little bit harder to fill that number. But ultimately, the short answer is it gets established along with our paid ads reps advice. Ultimately, your answer while setting up the campaign initially, and you can change it on a regular basis at any time, or we would.
And we have Joe. And Joe, you actually are able to speak now, so go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, so I have a website right now, which I used. We did use AI to help me improve it. We've got a 109-page website. If I joined up with Drive's advertising, would there be some sort of I mean, because you're not having to build this site. Even the guys from Drive, when they looked at it, said it was a very impressive site.
Okay.
I mean, I'm number one for my area, which is Bethpage. My site is actually Gallatin Auto Repairs. Gallatin's the largest city near me. So we were kind of advertising originally to get Gallatin, but we've dominated Bethpage, and we have enough people out here to kind of keep me busy. My question is, is there any cost difference between someone like myself who's got a really SEO popular website when I'm already on Google pretty heavily to get further advertising?
Yes, Joe. No, there isn't. But let me explain why. First off, we would still provide you with some content if you'd like to add it to your site through your vendor. But there is a lot of off-site opportunity, and there's some hard costs and things that go along with that. So our main focus is going to be expanding that off-site, pushing you through those data aggregators, pushing you through those directories. So we have clients right now that have the AI local boost and don't have our site. The price point does stay the same. The work is relatively the same. I mean, if you took the content or didn't take the content would really be the only difference. And glad to hear that your site's killing it. Love seeing that. But we would really focus heavily on your offsite side of things, Joe. But it would be the same price point. But here's the good news. The price point, I don't like to spend other people's money, but it is very affordable. And it's affordable intentionally. We want our clients to do something about AI. We don't want them a year and a half from now to, oh, my car count's down. And we're like, well, you do anything about AI? And they're like, no, we want it to be affordable. So let's talk to your account rep, find a price point. And I think we could really help you with a lot of offsite AI-driven stuff.
Phil, we
Fair
had
enough.
another question come to the chat, and it's from Marie asking, would you run Google Ads and local service ads at the same time?
I Go for it, Will. I have my
Sure,
answer.
yeah, I can absolutely answer that one. My answer would be absolutely. Neither product is perfect. Both of them have their strengths, both of them have their weaknesses. And I think that, a really well-rounded digital marketing strategy would include both of them. That doesn't mean that you have to run both of them at the same time for one to be successful. If that's not in your budget to run both at the same time, I would definitely say pick one rather than picking neither. However, I do think that running both products at the same time is really the best way to maximize your advertising potential.
Yeah. And just to add to that real quick, Marie, the traditional ads is really a high volume, a lot of touch points. You're working clicks, you're working on YouTube, you're on apps, you're on here, you're display in some cases, you're bottom of the page, middle, you're in the map. So high volume, a lot of touch points. Within that volume, the goal is to get enough quality to make for it to make sense and be a return on investment worthy. The LSAs are more in a box, and especially in your particular, I know you're trying to get more GR, Marie, just speaking to your shop, but you also have niches where we can't talk about Jeep repair, or performance repair, or some of the other aspects on the LSA. So you would be a perfect candidate to have both. But yes, one is not to replace the other. They complement each other would be the best answer. Yes, thank you, Joe, for your question. Agree. Great question, too. And thank you, Marie. Fantastic question. We get that a lot. We're not looking to move one out, move one in. Just trying to put you in the best spot. Because in the end, it's the bottom line. I mean, if one hand can wash the other one 1 month and the other one washes the other, then and your car count stays up and you make money, it's not the worst formula.
Sarah, do you have a question? You can speak now if you unmute.
Yeah, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. It I just was wondering if there's anything that Drive offers as far as education to kind of allow myself to become more educated in marketing and be able to manage these things independently, or is it strictly that you guys manage it on the back end?
It, Two answers to that. Strictly, we do managing on the back end. These products are difficult from a standpoint of gaining a certain amount of knowledge to really manage them at the highest efficiency. Like I'll take traditional Google Ads, for example. There are clients that get in there and you can try it yourself and you can set it up and you understand your business really well, but there's so many moving parts to these products. Now, with that said, so it's almost better to have a professional. It's almost the question could be, I can teach you how to repair a car, but you're not going to be a mechanic because I just taught you. But to give you a really good answer is we are pro education, meaning we're not going to necessarily, we don't have any programs that are going to walk you through to become an AdWords specialist, but we're going to talk to you and we're going to take it as far as you want to take it, meaning getting down to the nitty gritty and understanding what you're seeing, understanding what's working. So we kind of try to give you both ends. We try to be the support because we are the professionals, because you got to be very careful. You start doing stuff yourself, you can start losing money. You start losing money, then it defies the purpose. But at the same time, we're not afraid to educate you. We're not afraid for you to learn things. We welcome that. I think the more you know, the better our relationship is. And I think we've actually gotten to a point in some cases over the years where people have taken on their own ads. They've taken on that challenge. But things like SEO as well, search engine optimization, it's a science. It takes a long time to figure things out. It really is. Sarah, I tend to tell people marketing companies and marketing is it's like mechanics. You have really, really good ones, right? You've got okay ones, and you've got not so good ones. So it's just kind of understanding that it really is a science, but we are pro education. That strategy session that I had mentioned earlier, you might not get the nitty gritty, but you're gonna have a resource in myself that we can talk about all ideas and thoughts and share and brainstorm. And by taking advantage of that, you're going to walk away and you're going to grow your marketing knowledge and maybe get to a point where you can do some of this stuff yourself.
Understood. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for the question. How we doing?
Hey, real quick, I wanted to ask you guys a quick question. This is Shane. I'm the account rep for Drive, if you guys didn't know. But I had some of my clients reach out and say that the traditional Google Ads is not working as effective as it used to. Do you see that or hear that from any other clientele at all, or what is your thoughts on that? Sometimes what they're saying is they got to spend sometimes a little bit more to get those calls back as well, where before they didn't seem to have to spend that kind of money before.
Much more competitive. I'm going to let Will give you a detailed answer. My quick answer would be much more competitive landscape these days.
Hmm.
So before you might have had 5 shops. Now you have 10. Now you have 12. So everybody wants that same phone call. So things get more competitive. They can get diluted. They can cost you more. Cost of the keyword goes up. So I think a lot of growth in that platform in that area has had an effect for sure. And Will, add to that, please.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, phone calls is the hardest KPI to optimize towards on Google Ads, hands down. So technically, I guess it is getting more technically challenging. It takes a lot more involvement in your Google Ads accounts to see the same results as it did maybe before, but also kind of adding on to what Phil was saying, every month we're seeing more and more people sign up for digital ads. So you're just seeing a lot more people come into the space and vie for that position at the top of Google. So on one end, it is requiring more work to kind of see the same result. And on the other end, it is getting more competitive because more and more people are realizing that this is something that they need to be investing in. Um, and I guess that would probably be the skinny of it.
Yeah. And Shane, it's a great gateway into that local service ads because other shop owners that aren't with Drive, they're not getting these webinars. They're not I don't want to name our competitors, but I'm sure you know who most of them are. They're not supporting local service ads. They're not rolling out this service that literally will make your phone ring the next day once you get verified. It's going to ring soon and it's going to be quality. So again, it's just finding things to complement it and then just digging in when things get tough in the ad space.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Shane.
Also, one other thing, Phil. If you want to watch this webinar again, or double check something or look for something, it'll be available on YouTube and Facebook. So keep that in mind.
Awesome. Awesome. Really appreciate everybody sticking around, asking questions. And anything we can do for you really is open door policy. We want to have a little separation between us and other choices you have as your vendor. So reach out in any way, shape, or form, and we'll be here to answer questions, support you, educate you, and help you any way we can. Any other questions before we wrap this up? Again, Will, thank you. Team, thank you so much. Carolyn, Tony, Fernanda, and especially thank you to the clients that spent their hours with us. And I hope you guys have a little bit of a takeaway.